Hello, this is Miss Cliffner with your video lesson for converting measures. This is Chapter 5, Section 7. And it's it's handy to know about something that's called dimensional analysis or unit analysis um, to convert things. But the warm-up, some of you may already know how to do this. And I'm going to just start off with conversion factor. If you notice, what you're trying to do is to change 7 pounds into how many ounces that is. And you might already know that for every 1 pound, it's equivalent to 16 ounces. So the way I write this as a conversion factor is two different ways. I can put the 1 pound on top and put the 16 ounces on the bottom, or I can flip it and I can put the 16 ounces on top and the 1 pound on the bottom. And the idea is it's a unit rate, right? 16 ounces for every 1 pound, even though sometimes the 1 is on top. Now, what I want to do is I want to look at my answer. The question that's been asked is to figure out how many ounces there are. And if I'm given pounds, I need the pounds to go away and I want to have ounces in my answer. So you can cancel units the same way you can cancel out numbers when you simplify. So the idea is I'm going to use this as my conversion factor because I need to divide by 1 pounds to get the pounds to go away. So here's what I do. I write 7 pounds over 1, right? Because any number over 1 is just that number. And then I multiply by the conversion factor of 16 ounces for every 1 pound. And then the cool thing that happens is numerator, denominator, just like with canceling out common factors, the units cancel out. And so when I multiply across, 7 times 16 is 112, and the units are ounces. Now I don't need to put it over 1, even though there's a 1 here and there's a 1 here. 1 times 1, that's just 1. So the conversion, now what I have is I know that if I have something that weighs 7 pounds, it's equal to 112 ounces. So you can convert within customary units, within metric, or you can go between them. So, and maybe you know that milligrams the milli stands for 1,000, right? Like a millipede is supposed to have 1,000 legs. So my conversion factor is 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams, or I turn it around and I do 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. And then I look at the problem I've been giving. I want my answer to be in milligrams, and I want the grams to go away. So that grams needs to be on the denominator to cancel out with the numerator because I put it over 1. So I multiply 5 grams times 1,000 milligrams are in 1 gram, and the grams cancel out, and I'm left with 5 times 1,000, which is 5,000. So 5,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. Okay, so with that idea, we have a U.S. customary system and we have a metric system. And then the metric system is a lot easier to use in general because it involves moving the decimal around to convert from millimeters to centimeters to kilometers, right? It's just a matter of moving the decimal because it's all based in power of 10. But our US customary, there's nothing that's the power of 10, right? It's kind of some weird and different numbers. So you would fill this into your notes. A conversion factor it's a rate that equals 1. Okay, so we use unit analysis to decide which conversion factor we should use. So here is a reference sheet that shows you US customary to metric or metric to customary. So we use that a lot. There's the picture. This little thing is the gallon man, right? Which helps you remember that there's 4 quarts in a gallon and there's 2 pints in each quart and there's 2 cups in each pint. Crazy, right? The US customary has a lot of different things that you have to memorize. Okay, so here's an example. When you're converting quarts to gallons, you should know, or hopefully you do know, that there are 4 quarts for every 1 gallon, or I write 1 gallon for every 4 quarts. If I'm trying to change the quarts into gallons, I want to use this conversion factor. So I'm going to multiply 36 quarts over 1. I always put my first value over 1, and I multiply by 1 gallon over 4 quarts. And remember, the quarts in the numerator and denominator are going to cancel each other out. I end up with multiply across, I get 36 divided by 4, which is 9, and my units are gallons. It's super easy, right? So now I've got an example that's a little bit harder because you're converting from centimeters to inches. So there's actually 4 different conversion factors that we could use. So I want to show you that we could do 1 centimeter for every 0.39 inches, or turn that around and do 0.39 inches for every 1 centimeter. Or we can do the unit rate of 1 inch. So I could do 1 inch, if I could ever write that with my pen. Okay, 1 inch, that looks horrible. Let's go ahead and erase that. Okay, so I've got 1 inch is equivalent to, where's my 2.54 centimeters. So if I turn that around, then I get 2.54 centimeters is equal to 1 inch. Okay, now with that, I can take this 20 centimeters. I'm trying to approximate, and it's going to be approximate because there's a lot of decimal numbers there, and I'm going to have to round at some point. That's why this one divided equally, so I got exactly 9 gallons. This is not going to divide equally. Mostly, it does not divide equally when you convert customary to metric. Okay, so here I go. I'm trying to get my answer in inches, right? That's what I want my final answer to be in. So notice that it makes sense to use this conversion or this conversion. Doesn't matter which I use, I'm going to get the same answer. Okay, so I'm going to pick the 1 inch, 2.54 centimeters, so I'm going to set it up like this. Remember, I'm multiplying 20 centimeters, and I put the 20 centimeters over 1 times 1 inch per every 2.54 centimeters. Move that out of the way. And when I multiply across, I end up with 20 divided by 2.54. The centimeters will cancel out. And I'm going to round. It's a long decimal number. I'm going to get 7.874, and I'm just going to round to the hundredths. I look at the 4. If it's 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. I don't need to round it up. The answer is 7.87 inches. And again, this symbol means approximately. It's not an exact answer. Okay. So now here's an OYO, and of course here's the measurements that you're going to need. We're converting miles to kilometers. So I'm noticing that there's this one, and I'm noticing that there's this one. So you get to pick which one you want for number 4. And then quarts to liters. Let's see, I'll do this one in blue. There's the liters and quarts, and there's the quarts and liters. Okay, try this one. Try these two. All right, so I think I'm just going to grab, I have conversion factors are 1 mile to 1.61 kilometers, or I flip it, 1.61 kilometers per 1 mile. The other one is 1 kilometer. 1K is equal to 0.62 miles, or I flip it and do 0.62 miles is equal to 1 kilometer. So I'm doing 7 miles over 1 equals how many kilometers. Oops, what I meant to do was times. Let's see, which one do I want to pick? Let's go ahead and pick one that involves multiplying instead of dividing. All right, so I see 1.61 kilometers per every 1 mile. The miles are the units that cancel out. When I multiply across, I get 7 times 1.61. And so my answer, and again, these are approximately, see the little approximate symbols, it's not going to be exact. That equals 11.27 kilometers. Okay, quarts to liters. I'm going to write these and then erase them because I am running out of room. So I have 1 quart is equal to 0.95 liters, or I flip it around, 0.95 liters equals 1 quart. And then the other one would be 1 liter for every 1.06 quarts. Flip it around, 1.06 quarts is equal to 1 liter. We want our answers to be in liters, so I'm either going to pick this conversion factor or this conversion factor. I think I'll pick the one that involves multiplying. The top one is 0.95. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and erase all of these choices. And I'm just leaving up the conversion factor that I decided to choose. Okay, so there we go. 12 quarts over 1 times 0.95 liters for every 1 quart. And the quarts will cancel out, leaving me 12 times 0.95, which is approximately 11.4 liters. Okay, last example. How about if we're going to compare, if you're going to compare quantities and they're not in the same units, we need to convert them to the same units. So I'm trying to figure out which is bigger, 25 ounces or 2 kilograms. Here's what I want to do. I want to have the same units. So either I'm going to change ounces to kilograms, or I'm going to change kilograms to ounces. They have to be the same to compare them. So let's take 25 ounces and do a conversion factor of 28.3 grams for every 1 ounce. The ounces cancel out. That leaves me with 25 times 28.3. Now I'm going to add one more. This is kind of cool. I can multiply 3 sets of numbers, but again, when I'm using the calculator, I'm multiplying 2 at a time. I'm going to do one more conversion factor because I just converted it to grams and now I need kilograms. And I know for every 1 kilogram, there is 1,000 grams. And now the grams cancel out. That's so cool. Notice now what I have is this 20. Oops, that's not a great color, but that's all right. 25 times 28.3 all divided by 1,000, because remember we multiply across. Here's what I get as my final answer. Again, it's approximately, I get 0.7075 kilograms. So this side is 0.7075 kilograms. So 2 kilograms is bigger. Okay. Here's the OYO, and you're going to try this one, and then that'll be it. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, try it on your own. Here is the magic of flip charts. The answer is 2.73 inches if you turn it into inches. So 2.73 inches is less than 3 inches. And then we'll take a look at the cups to liters. And if you turn it into, sorry, this was still the other example if you used a different conversion factor and you decided to convert it into centimeters. So either way, if this is centimeters, then you have 7 centimeters is less than 7.62 centimeters. Okay, so now let's do the last one, cups to liters. Let's use the conversion. We have a 1 cup is equal to 237 milliliters, or 237 milliliters is equal to 1 cup. And then hopefully you know that 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 milliliters because they're way bit smaller. Okay, so here we go. Just gonna move that out of the way. All right, so we've got, I'm going to change this to liters, 8 cups. So I'm going to do 8 cups over 1 times 237 milliliters over 1 cup times 1 liter over 1,000 milliliters. So the cool part is the cups cancel out, the milliliters cancel out, leaving me with liters. When I multiply across, I get 8 times 237 divided by 1,000, which gives me approximately 1.896 liters. So this 8 cups, I can replace that now with 1.896 liters. Definitely 2 liters is greater. Okay, that's it.